Hey guys, it's Carlos here, and today I'm going to be talking about how Colin Kaepernick's peaceful protest back in 2016 when he took a knee during the national anthem is considered highly controversial to American society. So, as you all may know, Colin Kaepernick was a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers back in 2016, and on September 1st, 2016, that is when he took a knee in the last preseason game, and that was really considered highly controversial despite him having the intent of responding to racial inequality, police brutality, and unfairness that was going on in the country. He decided to take action because he had noticed that not many people were taking action, and so he wanted to be one of the first to really set a message and set a tone for the upcoming year. He wanted things to change. That was his full intent. And although many people were divided half and half, it was people who were on his side and some people who really thought what he did was disrespectful because he took a knee during the national anthem. But his intent was never to disrespect the flag. I have one of his quotes here. He said, "I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color," which I found really inspiring because he wasn't only looking up for since he was an African American, he wasn't only looking out for black people. He was actually looking out for like minorities, people that have been facing racism for years and just never being looked into as often. And so he just wanted things to be equal for a change, and he was really hoping that his protest would send a big message not only to the sports world, seeing as he was an athlete. He wanted to use his platform to hopefully get more people to join him and help him with this movement. Unfortunately, not many did at first. It took a while for them to, because he had faced a punishment as soon as the NFL reviewed. They made a final review of his actions, and so they ultimately ended up releasing him. And so it wasn't really the worst for him. It was the worst for his career because at that time he was heading into his prime, his best years, and he was unfortunately going to miss out on that because he had been fired. And so after being fired, he proceeded to become a full-time activist. And as soon as doing that, he really started taking off. He really participated in a lot of activities with people. He really donated a lot to so many organizations that were in need. His money that he had earned from the NFL, his salary, he really sacrificed that, and he was willing to help out other people too in order to make some change in the world. And the best thing about that was that he was very calm about the situation. He never really was aggressive nor violent. He always wanted to remain his protest as peaceful as he could. And he really was very, very silent about it because he really wanted his actions to speak for himself rather than him go off on the NFL. He wanted to prove them wrong, that they're going to really regret releasing him. And he ultimately did succeed to an extent. And the biggest thing I admire him is that he sacrificed his career when he was at his best. And unfortunately, people were mad that he was fired because they thought it was unfair, which it was, because all he was trying to do was to prove to the not only our country but the world that there needs to be change immediately. And we know this today. It's still relevant, which is unfortunate. And it sucks that his message didn't get fully delivered because to this day there still remains a lot of police brutality and racial injustices. But the fact that he tried to make a change and he was willing to risk his career for it was very inspiring, because one of his quotes was, "To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way." That is why I respect this guy so much. He did not care about the consequences for him. He just wanted his message to be inspiring to others in hopes of a change. And so the relevance today, as we all know, everything that's going on, the unfortunate tragedy that was George Floyd. And so the biggest thing about Kaepernick is that to this day, he has not stopped. He has not played football in over 4 years, because the NFL has yet to establish a relationship with him, meaning potentially re-signing him. But I believe Colin Kaepernick's message was truly inspiring because he was willing to risk it all, and unfortunately he didn't get his message fully proven to the world. But the fact that he really tried should speak to a lot of people. It surely did to me. That is why I chose to talk about him, because I feel he's very overlooked and by many people. Not many people give him credit, because he was one of the few in modern day to really want to make a change. Because as soon as he, as an athlete, started to stand up and prove to people wrong that this country needs a desperate change, many decided to follow, and that is why today it is a lot more known. A lot more people are getting into it because now that they have seen the consequences, they desperately want change. And the really unfortunate part about this is that if people had taken him seriously back in the day, potentially things could have been different today. It's really hard to predict, but I truly believe things could be slightly different. There could be mutual understanding. Like, it's probably going to take, a while for things to get better, but there's always hope. And that's why I really admire Colin Kaepernick for him really trying to do his part, sacrificing and all. And I'm always going to look up to him as a person and have so much respect, because all he wanted change. And it doesn't matter. What he really proves to people is it doesn't matter who you are. It's all about speaking up and putting yourself out there, showing people that you want change, and just really fighting for something that you desperately want. That is why Colin Kaepernick is a huge inspiration to me. And yeah.